We're St Clair. Doing a deck interview for one of the builds that we were thinking about running at Nationals, which is Gravekeepers, because it's such a good choice for anti-meta. And it actually beats the anti-meta decks that are out there because you have bigger beaters. And it's just a really good choice because it stops wind up rat, and destroys Chaos Dragons. If they can't get rid of Necker Valley, beats Insectors. It's just a really great choice now. The only matchup that Aiden has a rough chance against is Rabbit. Not really even that bad because they can't stop flip summons. You can wall them with Spy forever, and even if they happen to get rid of your Spies, you have Stealth to get them back. And it's just a really solid choice. And this is one of the two decks that I was thinking about running, but I didn't actually end up going to Nationals. My teammates, we had this as a backup deck to a lot of different decks, so I thought we'd preview it right now, give you a chance to run this until the new format hits, your locals, and until the next jumps are. YCSs are, and they probably aren't going to hit this. So this is a good choice to start building, a good deck to start building up and having as an anti-meta deck.
Pretty cheap too.
Yeah, it's real cheap to build.
All right, let's go through the monsters.
All right, monsters. I got 3 Descendant, obviously.
All right, feel free to elaborate on anything you feel is necessary.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone knows what these does. 3 Recruiter.
Okay.
Or 1 Assailant. You have to run the 1 just as a search option because it can run over stuff with low defense. And kill stuff like Spirit Reaper and Gel and Duo and things like that. Just gets right through them if you don't have the Descendant to kill them. 3 Commandant, 3 Spy. Most people like to stop there because they want the low monster count for the Royal Tribute, but I'm actually doing 3 Veiler also because it's a must in this format, and then 1 Malefic Stardust. If you open this card against Chaos Dragons, you pretty much just win. It's really, really hard for them to do anything because they have to kill him with like a Raikou or something first because you have a lot of protection cards, and then they have to kill your Necker Valley. So like I actually side 2 more of Malefics against Chaos Dragons because it just totally wrecks them. Like if you just open Necker Valley Malefic, they just can't win. Like it's really rough.
All right, any other monsters?
No, that's it right there, 17.
All right, 17.
Spells, we're going to go, you got 3 Necker Valley, Dark Hole. I actually ran this without Dark Hole for a while. I mean, everyone thinks that's crazy, but I mean, it's just, I don't know. You always want to keep field presence.
Well, there's a couple decks running. I know Zectors don't usually run Dark Hole now. Anything that can generally just pop stuff off the field doesn't necessarily need it.
And this is like old school. It's like Insectors, not as fast, but a lot more control. That's kind of like what the deck plays like. 3 Stel, you have to run 3 of this card. A lot of people run like 1 or 2. You have to run 3. It's just the most ridiculous card. Sometimes you just beat people because you have that.
Probably one of the best top decks.
And it's also a great card against a Rabbit because if you make them waste it against something else, even though you got the -1 from like a Dolkos or Lagia, you can easily get it back with this. And then once you get Spies back with this, the game pretty much starts ending. 2 Royal Tribute. It's a must. I mean, you can open it against Chaos Dragons and just win. Other decks, you just win. That's another reason this card's so good because you could open with a card in your hand, 2 for 3 them or whatever, get all the info, see the whole hand, and then basically just get all your shit back. It's too good not to run. 3 Duality, pretty standard. Allure Darkness, all your stuff's dark pretty much except for Commandant and Veiler, and you don't mind, getting rid of a free card. A lot of times this deck actually gets clumped with a lot of monsters, believe it or not, because you're getting so much advantage and you're searching so many times with the Recruiter guy that you'll have like 4 monsters in your hand and you're just like, oh, who cares if you get rid of 1, you just want more spell and traps. And then 2 Underwand. A lot of builds aren't actually running this card, and I think it's crazy because first of all, it's a good way to get rid of Stardust. You just play like a 2000 beater guy and hit Stardust, and Stardust is a big problem with this deck because it stops Descendant, and the whole reason way this deck works is just Descendant all their field and then win. It's also really good with Recruiter. If you're trying to dig like turn 1, it's a really good draw engine because say you don't have Valley or anything, you just play him, you equip it, draw 2 immediately, and then search. You can draw 2 cards, then you can search for Commandant, and then with Commandant you can get Necker Valley. Obviously, it's a really strong opening, and it lets you beat stick over some other stuff. Even like Lagia, that's like 24 and Doka 23. You just play it on a guy, swing over their stuff, and then just sack your float like one of your random GK cards and get a free plus.
Now, there's another crazy combo you told me about with that card. You were playing a game and you couldn't get deep into your deck to get monsters for 1. What did you do?
It's actually not even dead hard. You don't have to use it with GK. I mean, you can actually use it with Veiler too, because Veiler's actually a spellcaster. So like if you're stuck with like dead Veilers and stuff like that in your hand, it's a good way to like you're stuck with them against like a a hero deck or even dragons or something that you don't want it against. You can just Veiler, draw 2 different cards and get use of your Veiler that way too. So it really balances out the deck. Let's get to our traps. I'm actually running 3 Compulse. I was running 3 Phoenix Chain, but the fact that Phoenix Chain now is just, I don't know, it's just not nearly as good. I mean, it's good against Insectors, but yeah, but it doesn't help against dragons. They can just they can just succeed. Doesn't help against early heretics. They just overlay on top of it. I just and there's 3 MSTs floating everywhere. This is chainable. It's also really good because like you can bounce and get your spy back. It's just it's a really or when they kill your Malefic Stardust, you can actually get that back. It's just a really balanced card. Stops everything right now. Oh, so I know you guys saw I didn't run Book of Moon. Everyone's Book of Moon. I just really couldn't find space for it, even though it's so good with Spy, and it's a really good card. You guys might want to play it, but I just couldn't really find space for it because I don't know. I thought these cards were too important. Then we got Solemn Warning, Solemn Judgment,
Solemn Brigade.
Yeah, Mirror Force, of course. 1 star at Road. I'd like a second one, but like I said, space is tough. And then Ultimate Offering. The reason I'm running Ultimate Offering in this deck, I know you guys usually just see it in gadgets, is because, like I said earlier, if you have played this deck and if you test this deck, you'll see you'll get hands where you just have like a shit ton of monsters, and you just want to be able to like spam out and like exceed with them so they're not dead, and then you can use Stell to get them back. Another good thing is like if you have Recruiter and Descendant and you have Ultimate Offering, you can just summon here to Recruiter, blow up a card, offering it out, blow up a card, search for another Recruiter, blow up a card, search for another Recruiter, blow up, and then just get 3 searches with this guy, which is for himself, pull up 3 free cards, and then end with another card, and then exceed and go off.
And thinning the deck's always great.
Yeah, it's a really solid card. It's actually a battle phase card too, because you can use it in battle phase and you can stop attacks. Like you can brick wall them with like a spy or a 2000 guy or whatever. But anyways, this is our GK deck. Team Pushes GK deck. We worked on this good amount for nationals, and we're actually gonna do a couple more deck pros. I think we're gonna do I might do an Insector one. We have a Wind Up one coming later. And but yeah, so rate, subscribe, tell me what you guys think, and just tell everyone about it. Man. See you guys.